Hey guys, just popping in. I thought I'd finally give you an update. My baby is here and I couldn't wait to show you her, so I am just going to film this on my tablet and upload straight, so there's not going to be any editing involved here. She is 1 week old today. Today is June 3rd and she was born on May 27 at 10:04 p.m. and it was after about 2 hours of pushing, due to the fact that she was to the side. Her face was facing my hip, and she kept trying to turn, and the doctor tried to turn her, but we didn't know the cord was wrapped around her shoulder, kind of like a purse strap. So it made it very difficult for her to turn and made it very difficult for me to push. If you can see in my eyes here, there's a bit of blood there because I was pushing so hard that I burst kind of blood vessels in both of my eyes. Kind of look like a bit of a vampire. And if you notice over here, I've got some lovely hives kind of taking over my body. I've been having an allergic reaction ever since labor, actually. I think, well, we thought that it was just from the bed sheets, and it definitely was. The bed sheets were making my skin totally break out, and my lip ended up being like 3 times the size. My eyes were all like this. I was a hot mess after labor, let's just say. And so if anyone has sensitive skin or anything like that, bring your own linens, because I ended up having to get my family to bring me linens, and it made me feel a lot better. I couldn't even wear their gowns, just because they use such harsh chemicals and bleaches and detergents to get everything clean, which is great, but not for us sensitive skin people. Other things to know about my labor and delivery. I went in to be, well, I was booked for an induction on May 27th at 7:30 a.m. At midnight that day, I started contracting on my own, all night. Couldn't sleep through, I only slept through the first hour, and then I was up with the pain and kind of coming and going. They ended up picking up, and they were about 5 to 6 minutes apart, lasting about a minute, which is what you're looking for. So I went into labor and delivery about 5 a.m., a little bit earlier than 7:30, because the shift changes at 7:30, which is why they get you to come in. But because I was in pain and I just wanted things to get going here, so went in. Labor basically stopped. But it was okay because my induction was that day anyway, so they just started me on my antibiotics for the GBS positive. I ended up receiving 4 doses, so every 4 hours you get a dose. So I ended up with 4 doses of penicillin during the labor and delivery process, because it started at, like I said, they came in. Hooked up my antibiotics. That was going for a while. Doctor came in, broke my water, saw that there was a lot of meconium, which is the first bowel movement that baby makes. So she was in there cooking so long, she decided to give her her poop inside, which of course is not good for baby. So good thing I was on antibiotics, because it was helping her a little bit through the process to make sure that there was not going to be an infection. So I'm trying to get through this quickly. So water broke. Things didn't really pick up all that much. So very short, I think she gave me a half hour to see what would happen. Nothing really picked up because, again, I came in contracting, so they wanted to see what would happen. Nothing really picked up, so the Pitocin or oxytocin or whatever it's called was started right away. And then things got pretty crazy at about noon or just before noon. My nurse came in, which, oh my god, I had the best nurse ever. Anyway, she came in and said, I got a good question for you. Epidural now or in an hour and a half, because he's going in for this. I'm like, now please, I probably could only do another 45 minutes. I couldn't believe how intense you can't prepare. I that's all I can say is I couldn't prepare myself. When I was contracting on my own, I was surprised at how intense they were, and what they felt like. So got my epidural. Was a bit tricky. He went in for 3 tries because I do have a lot of like cushioning back there. Yeah, he was able to get it on like the 3rd time, and he said that with the help of me, so I was kind of telling him where I was feeling things, and that really helped him figure out where it was. It was actually a really good epidural, which is what they say is you can you can't feel your contractions, but you can feel like your bottom, like your rectum. So that way when it comes time to push, you can feel what you're doing. So and like you can feel your vagina as well. So my epidural was great for about 2 hours. I was able to sleep a little bit, which was great because, again, I was contracting since 12, so I really didn't sleep at all. But then things kind of like, she was really high, and again, that was probably because of the cord around her shoulder and everything, but my body was pushing her down with the contractions, and I started to feel the pressure. It wasn't really pain necessarily, but it was uncomfortable, and there was like tremendous pressure, like, you have to poop, you have to poop. I'm sorry, you were watching my labor and delivery, so yeah, I'm gonna talk about it for real. But yeah, it's exactly like having to poop. The sensation is there, and I kept calling my nurse, and I'm like, I can't help it, my body is pushing, like, I can't help it. And she's like, that's fine, just don't push on top of it. I'm like, okay. She's like, just let your body do it. But so I was kind of moaning and going on like that, not for every contraction, but just the ones that were pushing her down. I could really feel like the pressure, and so those would, I would kind of like that. I wasn't screaming by any means, but it was exhausting is what I can say. So by 7:15ish, 7 o'clock, I was fully dilated and ready to push. Doctor was so busy, I had to wait a half an hour for him to come in, or for them to start, just to make sure that everybody was ready, because again, she had the meconium, so there was a bunch of, like, the team has to be there to suction her and get her going and stuff. So started pushing at 7:30 and born at 12 or 10:04 p.m. So it was a long pushing that was absolutely exhausting. I ended up there was no episiotomy, but I did ask for intervention. I could only push her out to about her eyes and top of her ears, and I was just totally exhausted. I couldn't lift my arms anymore. I just couldn't do it, and I was at that point where you're just thinking, she's never going to get out. I was totally defeated, because I was so encouraged for so long, about an hour. They were like, she's right there, she's right there. So everyone, had she not been sideways and had the cord around her shoulder, I probably would have been able to do it, no problem. So I asked for the vacuum, and I chose the vacuum over forceps because it does have a safety mechanism. So the safety mechanism will let go if the pressure builds up too much. So with all that said, the vacuum was on her head for about 20 seconds. It released. I got her out. Then I got her shoulder out. They saw the umbilical cord. She came out kind of sideways. But other than that, I got her out. I tore quite substantially because he didn't give me an episiotomy, so that wasn't very fun. Anyways, it was very traumatic, to be honest. I have flashbacks about it, and it's not good. Not to scare anybody, but it's just, for me, it was a bit traumatic, the pushing part, because I was so encouraged and things weren't going very well. So I was so encouraged, like, you can do it, and then I really thought I could, and then I couldn't. So anyways, they rushed her off. This is why also it was traumatic. They rushed her off to the NICU. I didn't hear her cry for like what felt like 10 minutes. I'm sure it was only like 4 or 5, but they were suctioning her, and they told me that they were going to be suctioning her. They don't want her to cry because they don't want her to ingest it and all these things, but in the moment you're just so emotionally drained and Anyways, they rushed her off to the NICU. She was in the NICU for 3 days. I was breastfeeding on demand while in the NICU. We both got released together, which was fantastic, but that was because of my allergic reaction that I got to stay an extra day. So anyways, without further ado, my little angel over here, I'm going to just show you her. I'm not going to pick her up because I don't want to wake her up. But breastfeeding is going pretty good. I suggest that anyone get help right away. I went and got help yesterday and things changed so amazingly because in the hospital they didn't really teach you very much. But anyways, here we go. Here's my little angel. Oh my goodness. Sorry guys. That is Erica Elizabeth. Sorry guys, I'm trying to show you her. Yeah, there's my baby girl. Erica Elizabeth. Okay, so Erica Elizabeth was born 8 pounds, 3 ounces, and perfect as can be, as you can see. And I am so over the moon in love with her. It truly is something that you just need to experience to know what it feels like. For all of you out there that are expecting, I hope that things go well for you in labor and delivery, and just remember that in the end, it just matters that they got here safely and you're here safely too. Thanks for watching guys, and we'll keep you posted, and I'm looking out for all of you other TTCers and people who are expecting their little ones very shortly. So take care. Bye for now.